Hey everyone, welcome again on Davis Tech channel, and in this video we will learn about the basic thing about the Flutter. We're going to perform a crud operation, okay, and I will explain each and every widget in this video. So this video will help you to understand everything if you are a very beginner. So how to use column, how to use row, how to use container, and why we use them. You will learn this thing in this video. Along with we are going to perform a CRUD operation on a Flutter. So I'm taking Flutter web. Okay, so we're going to develop a website. Okay, and in this website, first thing I will explain each and every widget like column, row, and all. Then I will give you a real-time example that how you will use to create this kind of UI. So please watch the video till the last because you will learn a lot. Okay, so what we will going to do in this video, the first thing we will going to do is we will going to copy, we will going to try to copy the idea of the Jira. In Jira, what we do, we can create a multiple cards. Like we have a section called in progress, we have a section called to do. Okay, so it's a simple UI we will going to create. So as many cards you can create over here. Okay, so that thing will come till here. Then if you add another more, that will come here. So this kind of thing we will going to do in this video. So this in this video we will going to perform a CRUD operation. So you will learn all the basic thing about the Flutter. Okay, the state management, what is the stateful and stateless widget, all those things I will try to cover. So this is the kind of thing we're going to create in this video, and if this video will successful, we will going to add task. This kind of thing we will going to create in the second video. Okay, so as I told, it will be a CRUD operation. So the first thing was the creating something and reading a something. So we perform the C and R here. And what about the update? So if you wanted to update some card name, like if you wanted to update the card name from OK to something else, okay, that thing we also do. Also we will going to delete the card. So please watch the video till the last, and don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video, and share the video to your friend. And yeah, we will start coding. Okay, so let's start the coding. So let's writing the code, and let me explain you the project setup first. Okay, so as I'm making this video for very beginner friendly, I'm going to explain each and every point. So any new developer can understand the Flutter easily. Okay, so what is the thing here is that I have created a Flutter project from the scratch. Okay, and if you don't know how to set up your Flutter project, I have separate video, okay, to install the Flutter and set up your first project. But let me explain you, after you install a Flutter on your system, what you just need to do, you have to run this command flutter create and your project name. What it will do, it will going to create a folder which this name. So whenever you will provide your project name, it will going to create a folder on your system with the same name you provided at the time of the flutter create command. What you need to do, that you need to open that folder on your VS Code, and after you open that folder in your VS Code, your folder will look like this. It have a bunch of file, and just don't worry, it have a bunch of file, I know, but we don't need to bother about all the files. Okay, it have Android, iOS, build, Linux, Mac OS, Windows, along with the web folder, but we don't need to worry about any folder. We just have to worry about the lib folder. Okay, so in the lib folder we have a main.dart file. You don't have this home page folder on your lib folder. Okay, I just created this home page folder to reduce the time. So you will going to have a main.dart file, and in the main.dart file again you will find a boilerplate code which have a many thing. Okay, so I just remove everything. What you just need to keep is you need to keep this main method, which is an important method for your Flutter project. Okay, and in the main method we are running our first widget called my app. So my app is here only in the main.dart file, and in the my app what we are doing, we are returning a stateless widget. The funda of the stateless and stateful you don't understand. Okay, I will explain this thing in this video later point of time. Okay, so just think about that there is a stateless widget and will be a stateful widget. Okay, and here in a stateless widget we have a build method. Even in a stateful widget also we have a build method, and here we are returning another widget. So in a Flutter everything is a widget. Okay, everything, every single building block is a widget. Okay, and in a material app if you just remove this thing then also it will work. Okay, theme, we will come to this part later. Just worry about this home. Okay, so in a home, I mean material app provide a home parameter. In a home parameter we are assigning our own widget called home page, which I just created. So don't worry about this thing, this is just a setup thing. Okay, in a home page, so here we are returning a home page, and in a home page what it is, what I did that I have used a stateful widget here. Okay, so it was a stateless, this my app was a stateless, but here I'm using a stateful widget. Why, I will explain it. And in a stateful widget what we have two things. First thing is the stateful widget class, and second thing will going to be a state class. Okay, so here in a state class again we have this override build method. Okay, and in a build method what I'm doing, I'm just returning a scaffold widget, which is another widget provided by the Flutter, and I'm running this thing with help of the Flutter run. Okay, so here you will find that this is our website looking like this, which don't have anything yet. Okay, and why I'm using a scaffold will provide a basic building block to us. Okay, so every website have a app bar, so scaffold have a app bar property, and along with that Flutter will give us a app bar widget. Okay, if I will hit the save, that app bar will come over here. That's why I'm using a scaffold have everything in a manner. Okay, so it have a app bar property which will help us to draw a app bar on our website, and in a app bar widget we have a title again is a widget. Okay, so here to show any text on our website we will going to use a text widget. Okay, and I will use basic Flutter app, so that title will come on our app bar. App bar have a bunch of property but we will not deep dive into it, but I just wanted to explain that scaffold will provide everything. Like in HTML word what we have a header, we have a footer, we have a body. Similarly you can think that in a scaffold we have a app bar just like a header, we also have a body. Okay, we also have a body, so in a body we can put every code related to the body UI. So suppose we wanted to put something in our website body, that we can put in here. Okay, so body will take again a widget. Okay, so here what in a body what I will do, I will use a column widget. Okay, what is a column widget? If you don't know about the column widget, so let me show you an explanation. So First thing I will use a container, okay. To just explain, I will use height 300 and color red. I will explain every code, just give me a time. Okay. So the thing is that in a column will act, if you take an example of any table, okay. In a table, what we have a column, we have a row, okay. Similarly, in a Flutter also we have a column widget, we have a row widget. In a column widget, we have a children property, and in the children property we can provide many childrens, okay. So container is one of the children. If you think about a real world container, you can just relate to the real world container to this container also. It have a height, along with the height it will also have a width, okay. And it have a colors, so it have a bunch of property, okay. So this is our first children and this is our second children. So if you put a children inside the column, that will come row wise. You can think about the tables, okay. So I'm just returning a column widget here, okay. So instead of the column widget, if I will use first children as a row widget, okay, so you will relate it better. We'll use 2 row, provide some width 300, so you will relate it, okay. And instead of the red yellow, I will use a different color, green, orange. Okay, so let me explain everything. So if you relate this thing to a table, so in a row widget, what we have a children property, and in a children property you will provide many childrens, okay. So that children will align in your website as a column wise. So this is our first children and this is our second children. First children have a red color, so that came, this is the first children, and this is our second children, okay. That is have a blue color. So you can think that whenever you will use a row widget and you will put children inside the row widget, the children will come in a column wise. So this is our first column of the table, this is a second column of our table. So you can think you can relate it with the table. So suppose it is a table, so this is the first column, this is a second column, this is a first row, and this is a second row. So row children will align in a column wise, first column and the second column, okay. So row children will align in a column wise, and for column, similarly this row, if you relate, so it have a green color, it have orange color, okay. So this is a green color and this is orange color, okay. So the second row column, I mean this row children also align in a column wise, okay. But for the column, you will think, for the column, this row is a first children and this row is a second children, right. So for the column, when you put a children inside the column widget, that will align as a row wise. So this is a first children, okay. So this is a first row children and this is a second row children. That's why it align as a row wise. Okay, so first row and the second row. For the row, it will align as a column wise, but for the column, it will align as a row wise. Okay, so that's the difference between the column widget and the row widget. And as I explained, the container is, you can relate a container as a real world container. It have a certain height, it have a certain width, along with it have a bunch of property like providing a color, or it can have a child too. So it can have a child too. In a child, you can use your general text widget. Okay, that will come here. Okay, here you can see that. So just think about this container widget as a real world container widget. Okay, so now you understood about the scaffold, app bar, and body parameter, along with the column, row, and container widget. Let's implement the UI which we discussed in introduction and move forward. Okay, so here let me use a, in a body, let me use a row widget. Why I'm using a row widget as of now? Because let me just remove the error. Because you saw that we need to have a text field, and then we need to have a button. Okay, in a column wise. That's why in a children property, what I will do, I will use a text form field, which will give us a input field where we can type add your card name. Okay, and then we will use a text button. Every button have a two thing. First thing have a on press. So after clicking on a button, you wanted to do some kind of event. Okay, that event code will go on press. And the second thing, a button will have a child. In the child, you can use your own widget to show in your button. Okay, so suppose I will use a text widget. Okay, so I'm using a text button because I wanted to show a name, add card. Okay, and I will explain everything, just give me a time. If I will hit the save, actually it will give us an error. Okay, it will give us an error like this. Why it will give us an error? Because whenever you will use a text form field to show an input box on your website, the text form field need a certain height and certain width. Okay, so that's why what I will do, again I will use a container widget. Okay, so in a container widget, I will provide a certain height like 50 and certain width like 300, and as every container widget have a child, in the child I will use a text form field. So suppose if I will hit the save, then you will understand that we will get two things. We got a text form field, so this is an input field where you can type your input. Suppose I will name as a in progress. Okay, and this is our button. Every button have a child. Whenever, I mean, anything you wanted to put in your your child, that will show here. Okay, in your UI. And when you click on this button, then this on press method will going to call, and the code you will write inside on press will run. Okay, so now you know about the container and the text button along with the text form field. Okay, again here what I will do, that it is not looking a great UI, at least we need to add some padding here. Okay, so it will not just stick in a very left side. So what I will do, now there will be another part will come, that is a padding widget. So Flutter will provide a padding widget as well. So in a padding widget, we have a multiple option. What are the option we have? We can use this add insert dot all to apply padding everywhere. So if you use dot all, it will apply padding everywhere, which means top, bottom, right, left, everywhere same amount of padding will going to apply. Okay, suppose if I will wanted to apply like 80 padding, then it will apply 80 padding to top, 80 padding to bottom, 80 to left, 80 to right. But I don't want it to apply that amount of padding everywhere, that I have a only. Okay, so in a only we have a individual padding. We have a left. Okay, so suppose if I wanted to apply left padding as 20, right as 0. So if you don't want to provide a right, then you just omit it. And top, so it is individual padding. Okay, top to 20. If I will hit the save, then you will find the padding will apply on left and top only. Similarly, you can add a bottom padding as well. So it's up to you. Then we have a third type of padding, which is a symmetric padding. In the symmetric padding, you can apply a padding horizontal way. So whenever you will use a horizontal, which means it will work on a horizontal side. So the same amount of padding will going to apply on a left and right both, on a left and right both. Similarly, if you wanted to provide a vertical padding, okay, so same amount of padding will going to apply on a top and a bottom at the same time. These three kind of metric we have for applying a padding. Similarly, you can apply a margin as well. So right now we are using a padding widget, so it don't have a margin parameter, but the same fundamental will use in a margin also. So right now what I wanted to do, I don't wanted to use the symmetric padding. I just wanted to use only padding to provide a padding to left and top. So I will use a left and top to 20. That's good. We got padding between left. Okay, now what I wanted to do, I wanted to go inside the text form field. In the text form field, I wanted to add some border. So this UI is not looking good, so I just wanted to decorate it. So I wanted to decorate it. So I have a decoration property in a text form field, and it will take a input decoration. Okay, so here you can see that it will take an input decoration whenever you will hover. Okay, and here what you will do, you have a border. So we have different kind of border, so let it be there. Let's not add a border, but let add a placeholder. I wanted to add a placeholder. To add a placeholder in our input box, we will going to need a hint text property, and a hint text will take a string as a parameter. So let's add a hint text, placeholder. What's your card name? Oh, sorry. Okay, so if I will go here, and you will find that our placeholder is added. What's your card name? Now we have a input box. Along with we have a button. Whenever we will click a button, we will going to add a card. Okay, what about showing the card? So to show a card, I wanted to utilize this portion, okay, this remaining portion, and I wanted to show a card here. For that, how we will do those things? So as of now, we use row, we use container, we use padding, and let's go and add a new new widget will going to be a column. Why I'm using a column? You simply understand that as we added two column, two children which will align as a column wise, we use a row. Now just after this thing, I wanted to put another children where we can show the set of card. Okay, So just after this, so this is our first children, and now I wanted to utilize this remaining portion as a second children, okay, which is coming as a row wise. That's why I wanted to use a column. If it is making a sense, then what I will do, I will just wrap the whole widget inside a column. So now this padding widget become a first children to our column, and now I wanted to add a second children. Second children, I wanted to use a container first, okay, and in the container I'm going to provide a with media query.opContext.size.width. What it will do, this media query.opContext.size.width, it will get the whole width of the screen, okay, and assign it to the container. Now this container have the whole width of the screen, okay, and now container have a child. And here let me introduce a new widget called wrap. So if you don't know about the wrap, wrap is a mixer of the column and the row. So in a row, either widget can come in a row alignment or in a column alignment, but in wrap the widget will come in a both ways. I mean, if I will explain it in a more detail, so let me give you an example. Let me create a container to explain in a UI. I will add a height, might be 200. I will add a width 300. Let me add a color to colors.red, and let me add another children yellow. If I will hit the save, then what you will find that those two children came. Right now it's working as a row wise. You can see that it's working as a row wise. If I will again copy and paste these two things, it will act as the same way, okay. Let me again copy and paste. Now you will see the difference, that it will, I mean, it came here, okay. So the first four children are came as a row wise, and the fifth children not got enough space here, then automatically the fifth children came into the second row. Now it's working as a column wise, okay. So wrap is a widget will work as a row wise until we have enough space. Whenever it will get a less space, I mean in a width in a horizontal way, okay, then automatically it will wrap to the next row. So when we use a row, the things are coming a column wise till the point where we have enough space, then it will become up as a column widget. Now you get to understand that wrap is a super important thing, okay, to deal with a dynamic cards where we have a dynamic widths, and we wanted to have children automatically come to the next row if the width is overflowed, okay. So let me remove all this thing, all the container, as we don't need it as of now, and let me hit the save. Now you understood about the wrap. So why I'm using a wrap, because I wanted to have a card. The first card will come here, second card will come here, third card will come here, fourth will also come here, and whenever I will add a fifth card and we don't have enough space on this width window of the website, then I wanted to automatically flip the UI and put that fifth card in the next row, I mean in the just below the first card, okay. So that's why I use a wrap. And before I will utilize it, what I will do, I will go here, I will create a new folder, card UI, and I will, or let's not create a new folder. Let's put all the thing inside here only. Let me just delete it. Custom cart will going to be a new new widget, and it will be a stateless widget. I will explain the stateful and stateless later. Let me just implement it first. Custom card. I'm using awesome Flutter snippet to generate a stateful or stateless class. Okay. If you don't know about the awesome Flutter snippet, it will generate you a snippet of the Flutter using some shortcut. But here you will go and you will find Flutter widget snippet. These are the packages I am using. I will create a package video separately for the Flutter developer. Okay, just go there and find out what are the packages, VS Code packages I am using to ease my life. Okay, ease my coding life. So custom card is added here. I wanted to provide a width. As you know that with help of the media query .op context .size .width, we will get the whole width of the screen. I wanted to divide it to the 4. Okay, so whole width of the screen divided by 4 will be the width of this container. We have a child property, and in the child property, what we wanted to return, I wanted to return a card widget. Card is another widget. Okay, and you will get to know once I will hit the save, and I will use here custom card, and let me use here custom card. Okay, the first children of the wrap widget. I will first import the custom card. Okay, I will hit the save, and nothing is happened right now because in a custom card right now we don't have anything. So to see the visualization, what I will do, I will come in a custom card, I will use a child widget, and I will use a column widget because the things I wanted to show here as a row wise, that's why I'm using a column widget. The first children will going to be a text. It will be your card title in progress as of now. Hit the save, that thing is added here, you can see that, and this is a card. If you are not able to see, what I will do, first I will add some padding in our column widget. So here I will wrap it with the padding widget and add some padding to everywhere. So here you can see that. Okay, instead of 8, let me use a 10. So this is our card. You can see that the card is added. So this is a card widget. It gives us a nice box shadow and elevation. That's why I'm using a card widget. And this is our card title. So let me go here, and every text widget have a style property, and style property will take a text style, and if you wanted to give a styling to your text, here you will come and you will increase your font size. Like font size I will increase to 18. I wanted to increase the font weight to font weight dot bold. I wanted to give a bold. Okay, that in progress came and it is kind of bold, and instead of 18 let's use 16. Okay, You can change the color also because it have a color property, but let it be a black as of now. So this is our first children, and why I'm using a column widget over here, because after this first children, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show that list, a task list. Okay, and apart from that also I wanted to have a place where I wanted to give a option to a pupil to create their own task. As you saw in the introduction video, to do that, the second children will going to be a row. Okay, and it will going to have a same property, like here we have text form field. Okay, the first children will going to be a text form field, and the second children will going to be a text button. To add a task, I wanted to give the same thing. Instead of the add card, it will be add task. Okay, what's your task name? Instead of the width, I will remove the I will give the width to how much I can give a width. I will use a media query. Divided by 5. Let me hit the save. Here we got overflow issue. Let me divide by 6. So here we got what's your task name along with the add task. Let me divide by 7. Okay, so here we will going to add our task name, and here we will click on add task. We will change the UI. Okay, don't worry, but let's keep going, and we have all of this thing, and let's align these two thing in a way like every row have another property. So that is max main axis alignment, and in the main axis alignment, whenever we use a main axis alignment, we can use a main axis alignment to space around, and instead of the space around, let's use a space between. So those both children got a dynamic padding. What space between will do, it will put the children at the end of the cards. Here you can see that, and after the in progress, I wanted to add a padding between the first children of the card and the second children of the card. So what I will do, I will use a SizedBox. So SizedBox is another widget which will help us to provide a padding. So here I will use height because I am using a column. So whenever I will use a column widget, so at that time, whenever I will use a SizedBox inside the column widget, I will use a height parameter. So I will give a padding between the first children and the second children 15. So we got some padding between the first children and the second children. Let me use as a 10. To remove this linting issue, I can use a const. Okay. So we got here the same kind of padding. Let's add here too, like after, before the in progress, because it's not looking good. Let me use a 5 padding between the in progress. As of now, I haven't added all the functionality on add card or add task. I just creating the UI here. Okay, so this is our card, and here we have in progress, and let's give a padding between this row and this card children. So I will go on a home page. I will, before this container, I will put a SizedBox. Okay, and let's use another children. So this is our first children. Okay, this is our first children, sorry, padding is our first children, second children is the size box, and this is our third children of the column. So before that I will going to use a text. Here are the cards. Okay, so here are the cards I wanted to show. From here all the cards you can see, and this is another title I wanted to show here. I will add a padding after this card. Okay, and let's provide some styling to this text. Style, text style. I wanted to show this thing in a bigger size, so I will use font size as 18, font weight to font weight dot bold. Here are all cards list. Okay, I wanted to give a color to colors dot teal. So whenever we will use a teal color, so here are all the card list. Okay, so from here I wanted to show all the cards. Okay, and I'm just creating a UI bit by bit, and just don't worry about this all the linting issue, it will be gone when we will add a const here. And this is our first custom card, and I wanted to make this custom card dynamic. Okay, so we will make this custom card dynamic. Okay, and I wanted to add a padding, just amount of padding we have here for the row. So what I will do, I will wrap a container widget, or container widget also have a parameter called padding, and the same amount of padding I wanted to give here. So we use a padding widget, right? So let's use the same padding amount here too. So container also have a padding property, so we don't need to use a padding widget. I will not use top because I already use a size box here. So okay, same amount of padding we got, let it be 10. Okay, okay, so we aligned our card, and I wanted to make this card dynamic. And how I wanted to make this card dynamic, actually whenever I will click on this add card button, then only I wanted to show this card. Okay, otherwise I don't wanted to show this card. So now I wanted to add some functionality. I wanted to mutate our state. Okay, and now you will get to know about the what is the stateless widget and stateful widget. Okay, this is just setup of the UI. So let's make this card thing dynamic. Whenever I will click on add card, then only we will show this card. Okay, as of now I hard coded this custom card, but that is not a way we will do. So to make this thing dynamic, what I will do, I will go here, I will create list, and I will create another variable cards. I will initialize as a empty. Okay, and I will use these cards, and I just wanted to make it dynamic, so I will come to wrap, and here this is a children property which will take a list of widget. So here what I will do, I will use the cards variable which I use, and as card is a list type, so here I declared a cards variable as a list type. So every list type in a Dart have a map property. Okay, and I will use a custom card here, and I will use toList. What I just did is let me change the variable name. Cards is a list. I use a map operator, and map operator return a callback function, and in the callback function it will map our list. So suppose we have a 1 2 3 here. Okay, suppose we have a 1 2 3. Basically it will going to map this list into custom card 1, custom card 2, and custom card 3. Basically map will do this thing. Okay, it will map this 3 element to this 3 element. Okay, so right now it's empty list, so because of that anything will not going to show here if I will hit the save, because there is not any element. If I will add at least one element here, then automatically one card will come. Similarly, if I will add a second element here, automatically 2 card will come. Okay, so that's a part of the map. Okay, and I use a toList because this children property take a list of children, and map will not return a list of children. So to convert it into the list, we have to use this toList function. Okay, after the card will done mapping, it will convert the list into it will convert that cards into the in the list. Okay, and let me hit the save. I hope you understood each and every point here, and let's come to the state part. And so what is the stateful and stateless widget? You will get to know just after it. First let me create a controller that will be a text edit controller. What is that? I will explain you. Card controller. So I just created a text editing controller. Okay, what does that mean is this is a text form field, right? Anything I wanted, I will type here. I want this particular string to access. Okay, this particular string to use it to show in a card. How I will get access to this string? From the text form field. So we are using a text form field here. Where is text form field? So here we have a text form field, and anything I wanted to type, if I will type here in a text form field, I want to use that particular string. Okay, and how I will know what I typed here? To get track what I type here in a text form field, we have a controller. Okay, that controller I just created here, and every text form field have a parameter called controller, and we will assign that controller we just created to this parameter. Okay, so now anything I will type here like in progress or something, that particular string will going to assign this controller. Okay, and now the next part will going to be is whenever I will click on add card, I wanted to mutate our state. What does that mean is whenever I will click on this text button add card, first thing is I wanted to push cards dot push, oh sorry, cards dot add that particular text which we typed here, like in progress. Okay, so to access this, I will going to use a card controller. I will going to use card controller dot text. Okay, I will hit the save, and actually nothing will happen here. Okay, even I will click here in progress and click on add card, nothing will happen here. Okay, why nothing is happening here? Because we are changing the state here. We are changing, we are pushing a new element inside a card, but we are not saying a Flutter to refresh the whole UI. To refresh a whole UI, every stateful class come with a property called setState. So whenever we will change our local variable, so this is our state. Okay, so whenever we will change the state and we wanted to notify our Flutter that yes, we have changed this state, please refresh the UI, at that time we need to use this setState. Okay, and provide the particular variable we just changed. So if I will hit here Control S, and if I will come here in progress, add card, so now our card came here. Why? Because we used this setState. So whenever we mutated our state, card is, you can think the cards as a state. Whenever we will mutate our state, then we need to tell our Flutter that please refresh the UI with help of the setState. So this is the stateful class. Okay, so stateful class will come with a power. Okay, so it's come with the power to mutate the state. Okay, this setState functionality you will not get on a custom card. As I use custom card as a stateless widget, there we don't have a functionality called setState. Okay, it will throw an error if you use the same syntax, the setState syntax here. Okay, because setState functionality is not come in a stateless class. Okay, so here we can't mutate our state. So the difference between the stateful and stateless class, stateful class have a superpower to mutate the state. Okay, so anything we wanted to do dynamically, like after clicking on a button we wanted to show something, or anything which is purely a dynamic, we use a stateful class. And stateless class are class where we just wanted to show some static UI. So this card, suppose I will add in progress, this card is just a static UI. We haven't added any kind of functionality here, just a static UI. So to show a static UI, we will just use a stateless class, stateless widget. And any kind of superpower we will need to mutate our state, we will use a stateful widget. Okay, so that is the difference between the stateful widget and stateless widget. Okay, so whenever I will click on in progress, that particular card is added over here. And after clicking on add card, we wanted to clear out this text. Okay, so to do that, what I will do, I will go here, just after this I will use a card controller dot clear. So suppose in progress add card, then I will clear the type message. Okay, suppose I will add another something progress, so that another card is added. Okay, what I wanted to do here is I wanted to make this title dynamic. So whatever we will type here, I wanted to show it on our card title. For that, what I will do, we will go here and in a custom card, I will take a parameter, okay, from the parent to the child. So this is another learning that how you will get a parameter from the parent to the child. First, I'm going to create a variable called title. Okay, and title, and here I will use this dot title. Why it's throwing a error? Because everything you will create here, you have to put a final keyword. And why now again it's throwing an error? Because we are using a null safety concept in a Flutter, and either it can be optional parameter. To make a optional parameter, you have to put a question mark over here, or it will be a required parameter. I'm going to make a required parameter. So whenever we will use this custom card, we will make sure to pass this title parameter from the parent to the child. If we don't pass that title parameter from the parent to the child, it will throw an error. That's why I'm going to use a title. And what will be the title? So title is a string, and we are pushing a new element which is also a string type. Okay, so we are pushing text inside our card, and we are mapping it over here. So this item variable which callback method is getting, it's a what we will call, it's a individual item. Okay, so in this cards list, we are just pushing a string. Okay, so this 1 2 3, whatever we will push inside the card, so each time we will iterate via the map, it will give a 1, then 2, then 3. So each time it will assign, it will iterate 3 times. Okay, and item will be 1 first, and the second iteration it will become 2, and the third iteration it will become a 3, just like a for loop. Okay, so I'm passing this item from the parent to the child, and we will utilize that thing, the title we are getting. Instead of hard coding this in progress, I will use it here directly. Okay, so whenever I will add here something in progress or something, first it will push that particular thing in our card, and then we will get here. Okay, suppose I will use to do here, so that thing will come here too, which means our cards are purely dynamic, and we are mutating our state. Okay, so at least now we are able to create, and we are able to show it here. So crud have a create, read, those things we are doing here. We are creating and we are reading. What about update and delete? Okay, so to update and delete, what I will do, I will add another cross button over here in each card. Okay, so let me on a custom card, go on a custom card, and in progress is the title. Okay, so the first children of our column is SizedBox and second children was the text. So what I will do, I will wrap this text into another widget called row. First children will going to be a text and second children will going to be another button. This will be a icon button, and every button have a two thing. First thing will be a on press. After clicking on that button, what kind of code I wanted to run. A second thing will be either child, or in this case for the icon button it will be a icon. Icon is another widget. So in a text button we use a text, but for the icon button we will use icons. Okay, and icons have a material icon, and I will use icon.clear to show a cross button. So this is in and cross button. I will do one thing. Every row have a main axis alignment, as I already told. I will use main axis alignment, space between. So in progress will look like this. It have a in progress title and the cross button. Let me decrease the size of the cross button. So every icon widget along with the icon have a size parameter. I will decrease to 18. Okay, so I will use a const here to remove the linting, and what about the deleting the that particular card from the cards list? So I wanted to delete that particular card from the card list. Okay, but before I will do that, let's work on the adding a task. Just like we are adding cards, I wanted to add a cards task also. The same functionality we did here, na? Same functionality I wanted to do here, but that will be hectic as of now because this video is already long. So what I will do, let's implement this cross functionality only, and we will do the edit functionality also to complete this crud operation. Okay, so let me go on a home page. So this is our cards, and whenever we are creating a card, what we are doing, we are just putting the card name only in the list. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to create a model class for it. So here I will create a card model dot. What is the model class? I will explain you, just give me a time. It will be a kind of class. Okay, and in the I'm just creating a structure. Okay, so the first thing will be string title. Second thing will be a card ID, which will again a string, and card model. This dot card ID and this dot title, and both thing will going to be required. I will explain this thing, this model class everything, just give me a time. So we just created a card model and I wanted to use this card model. The model class is creating a structure of your data. Okay, so every Flutter thing have a generics. So this is our list, and to define the genre of this list, what I will do, I will use this arrow, this syntax. Okay, like we have a genre, like in website you will find we have a genre movies, game, something like this. Similarly, in Flutter data types you can define a genre. Okay, so I'm using a generics and I just created a card model, and this type of data I wanted to put inside the list, I'm just saying here. So here we have a cards. Right now it's empty string, empty list, but whenever I will put here, okay, then I will use a card model. Okay, in the card model we have a two thing. The first thing will have a title, so it's a structure that I wanted to have a title, and the second thing I wanted to have is the card ID. And how we will going to create a ID in a Flutter. For that, what I will do, I will use Flutter UUID package. So here we will going to use a UUID package. I will just copy it from here. I will go on a pubspec.yaml file. In a dependency, just after Cupertino icons, I will add that UUID package. And I will first import that UUID package. In a home page. Okay, I just imported the UUID package, and I will create an instance of the UUID package. So here I just created an instance of the UUID. It will create a unique ID in a hash format. Okay, if you go here, it will tell you that it will just create a instance of the UUID. I mean it will create a unique ID for us. So this is a kind of a unique ID which will be a random, and why we will need it, I will explain you, just give me a time. So here the card ID will going to be this. Okay, I will explain everything, just give me a time. Okay, here we are, it will be item dot title. So let me show item dot card ID only. Let me just explain. So let me explain everything. So we did mistake CAD model. Okay. Let me explain about the model class. The model class we just created just for the structure of our data type. Okay, in JavaScript we have a JSON object. Similarly, to create a JSON object or a structure of storing the data, we created a model class. As of now, we have a two thing inside. The first thing is the title, second thing is the card ID, and we are using a constructor to initialize these two variable. So whenever we will use a card model to create an instance, what we will do, we will use this constructor to initialize this card model, and I'm using this required keyword. Why? because both the thing will going to be a required element. So if I will go on a home page, at the time of adding, this is our text button, and when we click on add card, this function will run. So earlier what we were doing, we were just adding this string, the card controller dot text. Okay, so right now if I will do the same thing, now it will going to throw a error because we defined here, we told our cards that now your data type will going to be a list of card model. Okay, so whenever we will provide just a string type of data to our cards variable, it will going to throw a error because we have told this card that no, you are not a string, you are list of card model. Okay, so now instead of taking this string, you should take a card model type of data. Okay, so that's why I'm just creating a card model type of data over here with help of our model class. Okay, so it will create a card model instance. Okay, and that instance will going to add on our cards variable. And as I told that both the variable will going to be a required, so whenever I will not provide any variable over here, then it will going to throw a error. So that is a null safety in a Flutter, that if you don't provide anything, then it will throw a error because you have told the card model that both variable will going to be required, so it can't be null. If it will be a null, then we have to use a question mark and remove this required parameter. Oh, not from the card ID. Okay, so either it can be null label variable or it can be a required variable. Okay, so that is the purpose of putting a required keyword over here, because it can't be a null. Okay, and here if we don't provide it, then it will throw an error. And now we should provide these two things whenever we will use our card model. That's why it is not throwing an error. Okay, so as of now in a title, what I'm doing, I'm just passing the item.card ID. So just wanted to show you that whenever we'll click on add card, it will generate a unique unique ID for us, which is required at the time of delete or update. Okay, it will be required at the time of delete and update. So instead of the item.card ID, I will use item.title over here. Okay, and also I need to provide a card ID. So let me just go here in a card in a custom card. Instead of taking the title as a parameter, I will going to take a item as a parameter. I will use item, and it will be a this dot item. Okay, and it will be have a type of card model. Oh, not card model. Okay, it will have a type of card model. So this item have a title, so I will use a title over here. I will go on a home page. Instead of title, I will send item. And now everything will work fine. In progress. Okay, so whenever we will delete something, like after clicking on a cross button, what I wanted to do, I wanted to delete that particular item from the list. So for that only I wanted to have that particular ID. So whenever we will click on a cross button, I will first find the unique, I will first filter that particular item from the cart with help of that unique ID, and then I will remove it from the list. Okay, so let's work on that thing. To work on that thing, what I will do, I will create a function void delete card. Okay, and I will pass this delete card. First thing is I will need a ID. ID will going to be a string. Oh, I'm using a typescript over here, so don't worry. I will need a ID, and ID will be a string, and I will pass this particular function from the parent to the card model child. So I will use this delete card. I will pass it to the, just like I'm passing to the item from the parent to the child, same thing I wanted to do for the delete card. I will go on a custom card. I will going to create a new variable called delete card, and what will be the type of this delete card? It will be a function. Okay, and I will use this dot delete card, and it also be a required parameter. Okay, required parameter. I will hit the save. Okay, so whenever I will use a delete card, so this delete card I wanted to use where? On the cross button. So here I will use a delete card, and I will call this delete card. Okay, and I will also specify that it will need a ID. Okay, which will going to have a data type called string. So I will make sure that to provide the exact data type over here. Okay, so whenever I will invoke a delete card and I will not provide the exact thing over here, then it will throw an error. So I am following the null safety pattern over here, so all the thing will come here. Any kind of error we will do writing at the time of writing code, we will see here. Okay, in a vscode. So here I will provide a item dot card ID. Okay, and let's go on a home page. So that delete card thing we have wrote here. So to delete a card, I will use the same variable cards. I will first create a local variable local cards before deleting it, and I wanted to mutate a cards variable only, so I will use a new function called where, feature where. It is just a same, like it will have a callback method just like map had a callback method. Okay, and what it will do, it will basically return true or false. It will filter, it's a filter method which will filter based on some condition. So what will be our condition? The condition will going to be element dot card ID is not equal to the ID. We just wanted to filter out those elements which don't have the same card ID. Okay, and I will use toList to convert it into the list. Basically what it will do, suppose our ID is 1 and our card had 1, 2, 3, 4. So this condition will do is it will filter this whole array into 2, 3, 4 because our ID is 1. Okay, and if the 1 is not equal to 1, which is not true, then it will return false. And if it is false, then that particular element uh, will not will will not be a part of this local cards variable. Okay, so our id is 1 and we have a 2 as a variable. So 1 is not equal to 2, which means this condition will become a true. Okay, so that particular element will go into part of the local card. Similarly, it will be for 3 and 4, the condition will become true and that particular element will go into part of our local cards variable. Okay, so that's a explanation. And as uh, we wanted to mutate our state, we wanted to tell our Flutter that after mutating our local cards, just refresh the UI. To do that, again we will going to use a set state, and we will going to assign cards to the local cards we just mutated. Okay, so let's see that everything is working fine or not. I will use in progress 1, that particular card is added. Hey there, a second card. Okay, hey, third card, please subscribe, as a fourth card. Okay, so we haven't got enough space here, that's why that fourth card is came into the next row. So whenever I will click on a hey there, okay, I just wanted to delete that particular card. That's why this filter method will work. It will remove the hey there from the cards. Okay, so like we are storing the filtered array in a local cards, and then we are saying a set state that yeah, we got a new filtered array, please refresh the card variable and refresh the UI. So this set state will refresh our UI whenever we will click on the cross button, which means the CRD is now working. We are creating a new items, and we are reading those items and we are deleting those items. What about updating those items? So let's work on update 2, then finish this video. Okay, so what I will do for that, I will create update method, void update. Again it will need a string id. Okay, again we will going to pass to our custom card. So I will come here and just like update card we will use delete card, we will use our update card, and just like required here I will do it. So okay, so I will use update card. As of now we are not passing it, that's why it will throw error. So let's pass the update card to the update card which we created. Update card. Okay, hit the save here too. Okay, and let's add another icon button. So like here we have icon button cross. Similarly, just before the cross let's add a edit icon button. So let me go here, I will copy this icon button. Okay, I will add a new icon, that will be a icon dot edit. Okay, and instead of using a delete card, let's use a where we have update card. I guess we don't need an update card over here. but let's use the update card. Okay, so here what we will do, how we will achieve the update UI. So let's go on a home page and let's create one thing. Let's create a boolean or bool variable is editing. Okay, initially is editing will going to be false. So if is editing, then we will show another hint text, update your card name. So basically what I wanted to do, I wanted to achieve, so whenever we will click on OK, so that particular icon button is not came here. Okay, we will see in that part. So whenever I will click on the edit button, so I have to just click save here, then only it will work. Okay. So this is our edit button, right? So whenever I will click on the edit button, what I wanted to do, I wanted to change this whole thing. I wanted to edit the card name here only. So I will change the hint text of this this input box along with the button name. Okay, so first fix this thing. What I will do, I will go on a custom card, and this two icon button I will wrap inside the row widget. Okay, so I will wrap this two thing inside a row widget because I wanted to have it like a children. Okay, so this is the first children and this is the second children, which is again a row widget, and for that particular row widget we have two different children, this one and this one. Okay, and I wanted to put this icon button first. Always edit come first, then the cross button, so it will come here. I will decrease to the 17. Okay, and what I wanted to do is whenever we will click on update, so actually I don't need this string ID as of now, or we will need string ID. Yeah, we will need a string ID, and here I wanted to do two things. Okay, so if is editing is true, then I will say hint text as update your card name, and also I wanted to say add card to the update card. Okay, so if is editing is true, then hint text will become update your card name. If it is false, then it will be what's your card name, which means we are adding. Similarly, is editing is true, then it will be add card and it will be a update card. Okay, and what we exactly do here, whenever we will click on update card, we will set the state of is editing to true as we are editing. Okay, and we will create another variable call, which will be a string current card ID, which will be initially empty, and whenever we will click on update card, we will set the state of this current card ID with the ID, okay, which we are getting at the time of calling the update card. So we are calling the update card on a custom card too whenever we are clicking on an edit button. Okay, and let's go over here, home page. So let's see in action, in progress. Oh, let me refresh the page. So is editing is false. If is editing is, why it is giving, oh, we are doing wrong thing. First update card will come, then add card will come. So age editing will true, then we will show update card, and if age editing is false, then we will show add card. Okay, so let me show in progress. If I will click on add card, that particular card will add it, and if I will click on edit, then we are changing the update your card name, the hint text along with the button name. Okay, at the same time, what we need to do is, so we will do the error handling. Okay, so right now if I will click on update card, then it will work as an add card only, because we haven't wrote a logic for updating a card yet. We will write that logic right now. Okay, so but what I wanted to do is, whenever we will edit, we will click on edit, I wanted to disable all the edit icons. So suppose we have a 2 card and I first click on this edit button and we are updating that particular card. At that time I wanted to disable all the edit button. Okay, so one thing I will do, I will pass is editing from parent to the child again. Okay, I will go on a cart, I will take another parameter called bool is editing. I hope it will not confusing. I am explaining each and everything one by one, so everyone get understand. So if I am editing, at that time the icon button will be null. Okay, so basically it will just disable the edge editing. So suppose if I will refresh the page, if I will in progress, oh, I have to save it also. Okay, so if I will use in progress, and if I will come here, if I will add OK, if I will click edit, then that particular logic will not come. But yeah, okay, so let's go on a home page first, and what we can do is, let's use another logic, void update state, and if we are editing, so instead of running this old adding logic, we will do one thing is, I will run update state method. So we are doing dynamically here. So whenever is edit we are editing, then instead of running this old function, okay, what we will do, we will run this update state function. Okay, so here we will put a logic to update a state. For that, what we will do, so we will have a current card ID, and we will use this card controller. Okay, and first we will going to find the state. So int index cards dot index of, or we will say index where it will take another callback method, and this callback method will have will be true or false, okay, based on some condition. So what will be the condition? Condition will going to be element dot card id equal to current card id, because whenever we are clicking on this edit button, at the same time what we are doing, we are setting this state is editing along with the current card id which we are getting from the custom card. Okay, so like this we will find the index. Okay, and what we will do, again I will create a local card variable. Okay, and here I will use cards, or else I will use cards index equal to card index dot title equal to card controller dot text. I will explain this thing, and I will set state cards. I will do this is editing as a false. Along with that I will use current card id equal to empty string again. Let me hit the save and see that everything is working fine or not, then I will explain it to you. So here I will add index of something. Okay, so this will be our card. I will click here, it will become update your card name. Okay, YH, and I will click on update card, then it will become okay YH. And also we need to just use card controller dot clear. So what exactly I am doing over here on update state? Suppose I will create one method. Okay, suppose the whole code of adding a card is this. Okay, so suppose this is our method which have a code for adding a card. Okay, so what exactly I am doing, based on the ease editing parameter, I am saying to this text button that if we are editing, please use update state method. So this is update state method, please use this update state method. Okay, if ease editing is false, then please use a add card. Similarly we are doing here everywhere, right? So if ease editing, which means the hint text will be different. Similarly the text button text will be different. The same kind of fundamental I am using over here, that if we are editing, then the method invocation, the method logic will be different. Okay, so this will be a add card method logic, and this will be a update state method logic. Okay, so at the time of editing, this method will going to invoke. First we are going to find a index based on the id we set it here. So whenever we will click on an edit button, so whenever we will click on this button, okay, so we are calling this update card method and passing the card id, and here this update card method is getting the id, and we are telling ease editing as a true and setting the current card id as the id of the card. Okay, So if I will click, I will get ID and we will set the easy editing as a true. Okay, then all the thing will change here. The card name, I mean the in-text change, easy editing, like the text button name change. Similarly, now when we click on this update card method, instead of calling the add card method, we will going to call the update state method. Okay, so inside the update state, first thing we are doing, we are finding the index with help of the current card ID. Okay, so it will return a index of that particular element. Okay, and we are just saying that cards and that particular index title is not changed because this text form field have a card controller. Okay, so whatever we will type, like hey there too, that particular thing, I mean, will come in a card controller. So we are just updating the title of that particular card. Okay, and again we are setting a state and telling the UI that refresh your UI. Okay, so now card title is changed of that particular card element. Okay, and after clicking on update card button, we are saying now the purpose of easy editing is completed. Please use, please instead of having a easy editing true, put it as a false. And whenever I will click on update card, okay, so that element will change. And now whenever I will click on add card, the new element will going to add. Okay, so please get back to the old functionality like the adding a card. Okay, and we are setting a current card ID as a false here to just make sure that update state method will not call. Okay, so I guess it is not confusing. So suppose here we will add. Okay, so it will now working as a add card method. But if we click here and change name your new card, so based on ID it will find this element from the card index. Okay, so based on ID it will find the index of that particular element. Okay, and change the name, change the title of that element. Okay, so I guess the purpose of this video is completed. Let's see in the next video what we can do. So if you are interested for the next video, we can continue this video only and we can add a new task over here. Okay, just put your thought in a comment that this video was helpful for you or not. Okay, and you are excited for the next part of this video where we will add a task. Okay, just like we added a card, we can add a task too inside a cards only. So if you are excited for that, please let me know in a comment section. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share the video to your friend. It will highly motivate me. Okay, I guess we are close to the 10,000 subscribers, so just share it to your LinkedIn or WhatsApp or anywhere, put a status over there and help me to gain the 10k subscriber. Okay, so thank you all, happy coding, see you on our next video.